What's up, everybody? Mark with Kardavox Academy here, and today I'm going to give you a different kind of lesson. Now, this is a lesson that will help your metal vocal journey. It's going to help you better than you did before, but in a very indirect way. In fact, today's lesson is going to help you in a much more broad and probably much more useful sense. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to save it to the end of the video. Let's talk about it. This lesson is one that I don't initially remember where I first heard it, but it's one I've lived by for many years, and it is that you should always enter a conversation believing that the person you're speaking with knows more than you do. This has helped me in a lot of ways, and not just work. I was a salesperson for a while. I was a debt collector for a while. Not a job I'm proud of, but something I did. And in both of those instances, keeping my mouth quiet and learning what I could from the individual was very helpful. But more so, and in a way that I have found to be more useful, it has helped me with my relationships. When you make friends, you're going to make friends that are better and deeper when you learn about them, when you ask questions, when you don't assume you know everything about them already. If they say they like a genre of music, don't assume what that means. Ask them about it. With my wife, it means that, believe it or not, in over 10 years together, we have never had a fight. That is the honest truth. We've had some heavy conversations. We've had some moments where we had to be very honest with each other, but we have never once had a fight. And the reason for that is because we always assume that the other person has some sort of truth in whatever we're upset about that we don't. And it's us against the problem. With my son, he's 3. And so some of these results don't show up with him just yet. He's a little guy. But in facilitating a situation where when he throws himself on the ground and rolls around and starts screaming, where he knows that I am going to, once he's calmed down, listen to what he has to say and not think it's silly. To him, not getting pepperoni pizza is a big deal. That means a lot. So if I go into those conversations in such a way where I do not believe, well, I'm 37 and he's 3 and I'm no more than he does, he has already shown a large amount of trust with me. He tells me everything. He is delighted when I pick him up to run up to me and tell me everything that's happened and everything he's feeling. And sometimes he talks my ear off, but I know that down the road, this is going to be a big thing that keeps him from falling into the wrong crowd. This is going to be the sort of thing that keeps him away from making a lot of bad life decisions because he will feel like he has somebody to turn to, me. Now, this seems obvious. You're probably watching this video and you're thinking, hey, obviously, Mark, you should always, talk to people like they know something that you don't. You should always keep an open mind. That's just how life works. But in reality, we don't generally do this. It's not natural. It's not something that comes to us normally. And the reason for that is it can suck. It can feel pretty terrible. One of the things that is the biggest part of my identity is a metal vocalist and a metal vocal coach. And there have been times where I meet somebody and I want to believe that I've got it all figured out. I know everything because that feels good. It feels good to be certain. But if I enter into conversations with other vocal coaches, other vocalists, even people who don't know as much about vocals, but they know about the production of the vocals, they know how they work in a setting, maybe they're better at music theory, so they can tell me that my harmony is not a good idea, right? Almost every time, I would even dare to say every time, I humble myself and say, hey, this person knows something that you don't. It turns out there was something very, very valuable to learn. So there have been moments where I learned more about writing harmonies. There have been moments where I thought I knew something about extreme vocalization and I turned out to be flat out wrong. If I had gone through my whole career not being open to the fact that this person, that person might know more than me, I would be a pretty bad coach today. And I intend to continue going through, my career, believing that so I can be a better coach tomorrow and in the years to come. Now, hopefully this is not going to feel like I'm pulling the rug out from under you. But anybody with a little bit of intuition knows that I'm building up into something. They know that I have something to say more than just a simple piece of advice. And that's because I would like to tell you who this video is specifically for. This video is specifically for people who look like me, although everybody is welcome to watch it and everybody is welcome to comment down below. I'm sure, as all of you are unfortunately aware, it was only a few days ago that a woman by the name of Renee Good was publicly executed in the street for trying to drive away. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of what that footage means or what it shows, because I think anybody with a pair of eyes can see that she was turning right when her murderer was standing to the left. I think that's indisputable, and I'm not going to comment about it. I'm not going to engage with those debates in the comments below. Since this horrible event, I've noticed a extremely large outcry from people who look like me, and that's good. We should be angry. We should be furious, and we should be getting out there and doing something about it. But unfortunately, if you are on the internet and you look like me, you may have seen some posts where people who don't look like us say, "We've been trying to tell you for a very long time." And I will put myself out there and say that the first time I heard that, I got a feeling of defensiveness. But when we have that feeling of defensiveness, it's important that we understand it, that we acknowledge it, and we don't let it drive us, because unfortunately, history tells us that, yeah, we haven't been so good at it. We have been entering many of these conversations not with the mindset that the person speaking to us may know more than we do. It's true, right? It's true. People have been trying to tell us. Sonia Massey tried to tell us when she was huddled on the ground screaming, "I'm sorry," before she was shot in her own home. Breonna Taylor told us when she said, "Who is it?" crying out at a doorway when law enforcement officers were slamming on her door, and she got no response. John Aguilar Garcia told us with his sobs when he was unlawfully detained and dumped in a Walmart parking lot. And the child of Carlos Zapata told us with his screams and cries as he was ripped from the arms of his father when he went into seizure because he had excessive force put on his neck. These are not comfortable things to hear. These are not things that we want to hear, but it is true. People have been telling us for a long time. How many years has it been? 5, over 5, since we heard those words ring out, "I can't breathe." Now, as someone who was raised in religion and left it behind when I got older, and also as someone who has a strong interest in genealogy, but has both sides of my family in the United States since the early 1700s, there have been many moments where I've had to face some very uncomfortable truths about my life. I've had to decide whether I was going to take that discomfort and hide, and that's what I did for many, many years. Take that discomfort and pretend it wasn't real, take that discomfort and feel sorry for myself, and take that discomfort and just use it as a way to feel guilty and not do anything. And in all those years of, responding to that discomfort by recluding, nothing changed, nothing happened. So it's very important for people who are going through this situation for the first time, hearing these things we've been trying to tell you and feeling defensive, that we don't wallow in guilt. We don't sit around and feel sorry for ourselves. We take that guilt, we take that rage, we take that anger, and we do something with it. Hold that rage dearly and take it with you to a protest. Any sense of anger that you feel, channel it into a voicemail to your congressperson, right? You can donate. You can take any sort of indignation that you feel and put it into artwork based on resistance. Take these feelings of defensiveness and morph them into a willingness and a motivation to do better when somebody tells us we've been trying to tell you. So when there is unfortunately another one of these situations, and there are going to be many more of these situations, let's keep this energy up even when they don't look like we do. Yeah, that means we might lose some proximity to a system that we've benefited from for a very long time. But we're going to gain a lot more in humanity and being able to look our children in the eyes when they ask, "Mom, Dad, what did you do?" We can say we didn't sit quietly.